This simple concept will change how you think about the future. We stand at the precipice of an uncertain future, our minds teeming with possibilities both wondrous and terrifying. As conscious beings gifted with foresight, we possess the remarkable ability to peer into the mists of tomorrow, to imagine and anticipate what may come. Yet this very gift can often feel like a curse, burdening us with anxiety and dread over the countless ways our lives might unravel. Think for a moment about the phone calls that await us in the future, those unexpected harbingers of change that can alter the course of our lives in an instant. We know they're out there, scattered across the landscape of our days to come. Some will bring joy and celebration, others sorrow and loss. But it's the latter that often occupies our minds, isn't it? The dreaded call that begins with, "I'm sorry," and ends with our world turned upside down. I want you to consider this. How often do you allow the fear of those potential calls to cast a shadow over your present moment? How much of your mental energy is spent bracing for impact, tensing against blows that may never come? The truth is, most of us aren't consciously preoccupied with these thoughts on a daily basis. If we were, we'd be paralyzed, unable to function in the face of life's vast uncertainty. Yet beneath the surface of our everyday awareness, there often lies a low hum of unease, what the 19th century novelist George Eliot described as that roar which lies on the other side of silence. This background noise of anxiety, this awareness of our vulnerability, is both a blessing and a curse. It reminds us of our mortality, of the preciousness of each moment. But left unchecked, it can also rob us of our ability to fully engage with life, to embrace the beauty and potential of the present. So, how do we navigate this terrain? How do we honor our capacity for foresight without becoming prisoners to our fears? I believe the answer lies in a profound shift of perspective, one that doesn't deny the reality of suffering and loss, but rather reframes our relationship to it. This shift is rooted in the wisdom of ancient philosophical traditions, yet it speaks directly to our modern condition. Consider the Stoic concept of amor fati, love of fate. This isn't a passive resignation to whatever life throws our way, but rather an active embrace of all that is and all that will be. It's the recognition that every experience, even the painful ones, shapes us and offers an opportunity for growth. When we cultivate this mindset, those dreaded future phone calls lose some of their power over us. We begin to see them not as potential catastrophes to be avoided at all costs, but as integral parts of the human experience, challenges that will test us, yes, but also strengthen us in ways we can't yet imagine. I invite you to pause for a moment and reflect on this question. What if every difficulty you faced in life, every loss and setback, has been preparing you for something greater? What if your capacity to weather future storms is growing with each passing day, even if you can't see it? This perspective doesn't eliminate suffering, but it does transform our relationship to it. It allows us to approach the future not with fear, but with a sense of curiosity and even excitement. What will life bring next? How will we rise to meet it? As we cultivate this outlook, we may find ourselves becoming more antifragile, a concept introduced by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. Antifragility goes beyond mere resilience. It describes systems that actually benefit from disorder and stress. In the context of our lives, it means developing the capacity to not just survive challenges, but to grow stronger because of them. Every difficult conversation, every moment of grief or uncertainty becomes an opportunity to build this anti-fragility. We learn to bend without breaking, to adapt and evolve in the face of change. And with each experience, our confidence in our ability to handle whatever comes next grows. This doesn't mean we should seek out suffering or court disaster. But it does mean we can approach the uncertainties of life with a different energy, one of openness and curiosity, rather than fear and resistance. As we move forward in our exploration, I challenge you to consider how might your life change if you truly embrace this perspective. What fears might lose their grip on you? What new possibilities might open up? The alchemy of acceptance, transmuting fear into wisdom. As we delve deeper into this transformative perspective, let's explore how the ancient wisdom of Eastern philosophies can further illuminate our path. Buddhism, with its profound insights into the nature of suffering, offers us a powerful framework for navigating life's uncertainties. At the heart of Buddhist teachings lies the concept of impermanence. Everything in our lives, our possessions, our relationships, our very bodies, is in a constant state of flux. This truth can be unsettling, even terrifying when we first confront it. But what if we could learn to see it as liberating rather than frightening? I invite you to consider, what if the impermanence of all things is not a flaw in the system, but its greatest feature? What if the ever-changing nature of reality is precisely what gives life its vibrancy, its preciousness? When we truly internalize this understanding, those future phone calls we dread begin to lose their sting. We realize that change is not an aberration to be feared, but the very essence of existence. In embracing this truth, we free ourselves from the exhausting struggle against what is. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent. Rather, we learn to engage with life from a place of deep acceptance. We cultivate what the Buddhists call equanimity, a balanced, open-hearted stance towards all experiences, pleasant or unpleasant. From this place of equanimity, we can respond to life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Instead of being knocked off balance by every twist of fate, we learn to flow with the currents of change, adapting and growing as we go. But how do we cultivate this equanimity in the face of life's inevitable sorrows and losses? The key lies in another fundamental Buddhist teaching: non-attachment. This doesn't mean we don't care or that we disconnect from life. Rather, it means we learn to hold everything, our possessions, our relationships, our very identities, lightly, recognizing their inherent impermanence. When we practice non-attachment, we paradoxically become more fully engaged with life. We're able to appreciate the beauty of each moment, knowing it will never come again. We love deeply, knowing that all relationships are temporary. We pursue our goals with passion, while holding the outcomes lightly. This perspective allows us to face the future not with fear, but with an open heart and mind. We know that joys and sorrows will come, that will receive both wonderful and terrible news. But we meet each experience as it arises, neither clinging nor pushing away. As we cultivate this way of being, we may find that our entire relationship with uncertainty shifts. Instead of seeing the unknown future as a threat, we begin to recognize it as a field of infinite possibility. Every moment becomes an opportunity for growth, for deepening our understanding, for expanding our capacity to love and to live fully. I challenge you to reflect, how might your life change if you truly embraced impermanence and non-attachment? What fears might dissolve? What new adventures might you embark upon? As we continue our exploration, remember, this is not about achieving a perfect state of enlightenment. It's about gradually shifting our perspective day by day, moment by moment. It's about learning to dance with uncertainty, to find our balance in the midst of life's ever-changing rhythms. In doing so, we not only transform our relationship with the future, we transform our very selves. We become more resilient, more compassionate, more alive. And in this transformation lies the key to not just surviving, but thriving in the face of whatever life may bring. The Phoenix Principle, rising stronger from life's crucibles. As we venture further into our exploration of this transformative concept, let's turn our attention to the profound potential for growth that lies hidden within life's challenges. This is where the modern idea of antifragility intersects beautifully with ancient wisdom, offering us a powerful lens through which to view our journey through life. Imagine for a moment that you are not merely a fragile creature, vulnerable to the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, but rather a being with the capacity to grow stronger through adversity. Like the mythical phoenix rising from its own ashes, you possess the innate ability to emerge from life's crucibles not just intact, but renewed and more powerful than before. This is the essence of antifragility, a quality that goes beyond mere resilience or robustness. While a resilient system withstands shocks and a robust one resists them, an anti-fragile system actually benefits from volatility, stress, and disorder. It thrives on uncertainty and challenge. But how does this apply to our lives, to our psyches, to our spirits? I invite you to consider, what if every difficulty you faced, every heartbreak, every failure has been secretly strengthening you all along? What if you've been building a reservoir of wisdom and strength without even realizing it? Think back to the terrible phone calls you've already received in your life, the ones that brought news of loss, of failure, of unexpected change. As painful as those moments were, did they not also forge you into someone stronger, more compassionate, more aware of life's preciousness? This is not to glorify suffering or to suggest that we should seek out hardship. Rather, it's about recognizing the tremendous potential for growth that exists within our challenges. It's about approaching life's difficulties not with dread, but with a sense of curiosity and even anticipation. What will this experience teach me? How will it shape me? What hidden strengths might it reveal? When we adopt this perspective, we begin to see that our fears about the future, those anxieties about what might go wrong, are often based on an outdated image of ourselves. We imagine facing tomorrow's challenges with today's resources, forgetting that we are constantly evolving, constantly growing stronger. The truth is, you are not the same person you were a year ago or even yesterday. Every experience, every interaction, every moment of joy or sorrow has been quietly shaping you, preparing you for what's to come. You are, in a very real sense, becoming more anti-fragile with each passing day. This realization can be profoundly liberating. It doesn't mean we won't face difficulties or that we won't sometimes struggle. But it does mean that we can approach the future with a deep trust in our own capacity to not just survive, but to thrive in the face of whatever comes our way. I challenge you to reflect deeply on this question: how might your life change if you truly believed in your own anti-fragility? What risks might you take? What dreams might you pursue? What fears might you finally let go of? As we integrate this perspective, we may find ourselves approaching life with a new sense of adventure and possibility. We begin to see that the very unpredictability of life, the thing we often fear most, is actually the source of our greatest potential for growth and transformation. Remember, this journey towards anti-fragility is not about becoming invulnerable or unfeeling. It's about developing a dynamic, flexible strength that allows us to engage fully with life in all its complexity. It's about learning to dance with uncertainty, to find exhilaration in the unknown. As we move forward, let us carry this powerful truth with us. We are not merely passive recipients of fate, but active participants in our own evolution. With every challenge we face, every fear we confront, we are becoming more than we were before, stronger, wiser, more alive. The symphony of synthesis harmonizing ancient wisdom and modern insight. As we approach the crescendo of our exploration, let's weave together the threads of ancient wisdom and modern insight, creating a tapestry of understanding that can guide us through the uncertain terrain of the future. This synthesis offers us a powerful framework for not just surviving, but thriving in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Consider for a moment the profound confluence of ideas we've encountered: the Stoic concept of amor fati, the Buddhist teachings on impermanence and non-attachment, and the modern notion of antifragility. At first glance, these might seem like disparate concepts from different times and cultures. But I invite you to see them as different instruments in a grand symphony, each contributing its unique voice to a harmonious whole. What emerges from this synthesis is a radically new way of engaging with the future, one that doesn't deny the reality of suffering and uncertainty, but transforms our relationship to it. We learn to love our fate not because it's always pleasant, but because we recognize it as the crucible of our growth. We embrace impermanence not out of resignation, but because we see it as the wellspring of life's vitality. We cultivate non-attachment not to distance ourselves from life, but to engage with it more fully and freely. And through it all, we nurture our innate capacity for anti-fragility, trusting that each challenge we face is secretly strengthening us, preparing us for greater things to come. But how do we put this synthesis into practice in our daily lives? How do we translate these lofty philosophical concepts into tangible shifts in our thoughts and actions? I propose a simple yet powerful practice each morning. As you contemplate the day ahead, ask yourself these questions: what challenges might I face today? And how can I approach them as opportunities for growth? What am I holding on to too tightly, and how can I practice letting go? How can I love my fate today, embracing whatever comes with an open heart? In what ways have I become stronger through past difficulties, and how can I bring that strength to bear on today's challenges? As you engage with these questions regularly, you may find your perspective gradually shifting. The future, with all its unknowns, begins to look less like a threat and more like an adventure. Those dreaded phone calls, while still potentially painful, lose some of their power to terrorize you. You start to trust more deeply in your own capacity to handle whatever life brings. But I want to emphasize this is not about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment or becoming invulnerable to life's sorrows. We remain human, with all the vulnerability and sensitivity that entails. The goal is not to eliminate our fears or our pain, but to develop a new relationship with them, one of curiosity, acceptance, and even gratitude for the growth they catalyze. As we conclude our journey, I leave you with this profound question to ponder. What if the greatest adventure of your life is not something that will happen to you, but something that will happen within you? What if the most exciting journey you can embark upon is the journey of your own transformation? Remember, every moment is an opportunity to practice this new way of being. Every unexpected turn of events, every challenge, every joy and sorrow, all of it is grist for the mill of your growth. By embracing uncertainty, by loving your fate, by cultivating non-attachment and nurturing your antifragility, you are not just preparing for the future, you are actively creating it.so step forward boldly into the unknown. Trust in your capacity to grow, to adapt, to thrive. The future, with all its mysteries and possibilities, awaits, and you, my friend, are more ready for it than you know.